Minister, we're all too aware of the terrible loss of life on our roads in recent weeks and years. The number of road deaths continue to rise, unfortunately. This should concern us all. Most road traffic collisions in Ireland take place on unlit local and regional roads. At present, it's compulsory to install cat's eyes on national primary and secondary routes. However, this requirement does not extend to local and regional roads. Will you consider extending the mandate to regional and keep local roads, especially in rural counties? Thank you.
Minister.
Thank Deputy Cooney for raising the matter with me this morning. And it's a very important question, and like you and in the earlier question from Deputy Whitmore, we are very much concerned with the loss of life on our roads, and everything we do is about reducing fatalities and accidents on the road. As Deputy Cooney knows, the improvement and maintenance of regional and local roads is the statutory responsibility of each local authority in accordance with the provisions of the Road Act under 1993, Section 13. And works on these roads are funded from the Council's own resources and supplemented by state road grants. Of these grants, the vast majority are targeted at the maintenance and renewal of the network, with around 10% of the remaining funding invested in new roads, bridges or for road realignments. Each local authority is the roads authority within their own administrative area, and the selection of roads for the installation of road studs, or cat's eyes as we know them as, is a matter for the technical staff within the local authority, and they will take road conditions, road width, suitability for road studs or road hazard markers into account, and the criteria is referenced in the road markings manual. Road width, suitability for road studs or road hazard markers into account, and the criteria is referenced in the road markings manual of the Department of Transport published 2 years ago. Section 7.10 and Section 7.2 outline how road studs can comply with European standards and also with the type of approved by the Department of Transport. And also Section 7.10 is around the whole issue of urban speed limits, and which are being reviewed. And I agree with Deputy Cooney here in terms of street lighting, in terms of the provision, in terms of unlit roads, and cat's eyes or studs do play a role. For the life of me, in my own area of Cork, I can't understand how in the N40 TII took away the overhead lights in the road to make the road dark now, because I think, like you, Deputy, I would agree with you, the more lighting you have, the better for motorists and for road users. And I think it's a question that we may need to reflect upon further, in particular in rural Ireland, as you mentioned. And I want to just thank you for raising the matter, in particular on our single kind of narrow roads and our country roads. So I'll talk to you again further about it, Minister, but thank you for the question.
Deputy.
Minister, thank you for your reply. Travelling on local roads throughout the country and in my own county of Clare is challenging at the best of times, and it becomes even more difficult in the depth of winter. Many local and regional roads have inadequate markings, where lane markings, arrows or stop lines are not clear. Most have no indications of the edge of the carriageways, and very few are fissures with reflective road studs or cat's eyes. It is difficult to understand why proper markings and cat's eyes on regional and well-trafficked local roads are treated as discretionary rather than compulsory. As a minimum, these safety measures should be mandatory in locations where visibility is poor, such as on bends, at junctions, or in areas where prone to fog, in the interest of road safety. While policing play an important role in reducing road fatalities, that's a separate issue. What we're discussing here is the basic road safety infrastructure that should be already in place. Minister, today I'm calling on you and your department to provide the necessary funding to local authorities and to update the guidance on road maintenance so that these essentially safety measures are implemented properly and consistently.
Thank you.
Margaret, thank you, Carlock, and thank Deputy Cooney again for raising this very important matter. As you know, Minister O'Brien Kenny announced our roads funding programme last week to the tune of 718 million for regional local roads across the state. Whilst there is no dedicated programme for local authorities regarding the use and the implementation of road studs, can I again just say to Deputy Cooney that each local authority has a discretionary grant in their annual allocation, and the total amount for this year is 86.2 million. Councils have that discretionary spend so that they can use it, for example, in the works that you talk about in terms of improvement or maintenance. And I would encourage, as Minister in the Department of Transport, all local authorities to inspect their road studs on a regular basis to identify, as you've highlighted, some of the issues that we have. You mentioned West Clare and Clare there is deterioration. There are areas that need to be enhanced and improved, and the local authority has a role in that. From a departmental point of view, we keep everything under review. It is a priority for us in terms of road safety, in terms of the enhancement of our roads, and we have in our roads programme allocated resources around that area. But I'll happily talk to you again further on that, Deputy.
Deputy.
Minister, 7 in every 10 fatal collisions take place on rural roads with a speed limit of 80 kilometres or higher. These are the very roads I've highlighted here today. Half of all fatalities occur between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. when visibility is at its worst. I recognise that road maintenance is expensive, but we have a responsibility as a country to do everything possible to reverse the rise in road deaths. The evidence shown that simple low-cost measures can make a real difference, and that evidence is out there to be seen. I urge you and your department to upgrade the compulsory requirements for road markings and catch eyes on all regional roads and on the busier local roads. These are the basic safety features that should not be optional. They save lives and they should be in place everywhere they're needed. Thank you, Minister.
Thanks, Deputy. Minister.
And I concur with Deputy Cooney in terms of the overarching thrust of what you've said, and I suppose our current road safety strategy is very much about that piece that you speak about in terms of reducing speed, improving road conditions. But I would make the point to you, and I'll talk to you again about it, local authorities have that discretionary spend, have that option to spend on the very points you make, and I think the points you make are very valid in terms of the whole road studs and the cat's eyes. And I would encourage again, and I've made the point earlier to you, that the local authorities should utilise, the carrying out of maintenance and renewal works, in terms of pavement improvement schemes, the road studs were applicable as part of the roads programme, and there is a fund that's there for them to use it. It's built into their budget for the roads. And I think it's also important that we look at the whole issue, and Senator Noel Donovan has referenced the whole thing of how we can look at our verges or drains, and you've made the point here today. So it's issues that we can look at and take away and perhaps incorporate more in our road safety strategy, because what you're talking about is low cost in the main. It does make sense, and you are right. A lot of the roads, in terms of early morning, late at night, the visibility is poor, and it's something we need to look at, and I'll happily talk to you again about that further. Come on.
Thank you. That concludes